Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Inside Fnatic's Brush. Today we're talking about week 2 of the LEC Versus, where Fnatic faced Mad Lions Koi, GX, and ended it with Vitality. Let's have a look. First big opponent was Mad Lions Koi, who have been looking incredible so far. Obviously keeping the roster from the previous season, they're looking to make a statement coming into 2026 and showing that all the progress and achievements that they've done last year is going to be the same for the upcoming year. In the draft, Fnatic goes for their same profile of late game scaling and some team fighting options. However, Mad Lions Koi answer really well with a Akali pick into the mid lane, with the lack of good CC within Fnatic is going to give her a lot of space to make some mess into the backline. Surprisingly enough, it's actually Fnatic with the early aggression, getting some good kills in the bot lane and mid, and trying to put this Akali as far back as possible in the unfavorable matchup for Vladdy. However, when it comes to the team fights, you see the power of the Akali and Mad Lions composition. Fnatic lacking proper disengage and CC chain makes it that the Akali can go into the backline and really mess up the front to back that Fnatic is trying to set up. In all this situation, Mad Lions Koi take over and really destroy Fnatic bit by bit. And obviously, if you give Mad Lions an inch, they'll take a mile. And as the game progresses, Mad Lions Koi just dominate and push forward their advantage, especially with the Akali, who makes it very, very hard to catch her and just outplays every situation. Jojo Pyun, to be honest, plays really well most of the situation. Fnatic, however, don't look completely ridiculous and try to fight back as much as possible. However, after a Baron and Dragon Soul secure, Mad Lions Koi will easily fold the game in 32 minutes. GG, Mad Lions Koi win against Fnatic. While a disappointing result, the boys didn't look completely ridiculous throughout the match. And to be honest, it was a good sign of progress compared to what we've seen in week 1, where we saw a clear lack of synergy across the team. This time, some good early game, which was also an improvement, and some good fight back against a very strong team. Now it was time to see how they would face against another strong opponent from last week, Giant X. Now Giant X has a favourable scoreline, but they have come back from very dire situations that they should have not won at all. So let's see if they're capable of doing the same against Fnatic. Nothing really new on the side of Fnatic when it comes to draft. Some scaling, some team fighting options, and some engaging champions with, again, the Alistar for Lospa. GX instead favored the Wombo Combo Nocturne Orianna and the Lulu to help out the Aphelios to sustain the team fight and also help the Nocturne when he goes in. Once again, Fnatic is showing some good early game proactivity. Razork definitely isn't scared to go in with his Xin Zhao, and they managed to get a double kill in the enemy jungle for Ampiros, setting him really well for his laning phase. The rest of the mid game is actually pretty close, with both teams trading both kills and objective across the board and not really gaining an advantage on either side of these teams. It will take actually some good moves from Lospa to catch out Isma, who's getting caught into the river, to really gain the advantage and turn the game around in favor of Fnatic. Another big move from Lospa happens around the Baron take, where he manages to circumvent the entire team of GX and catch Noah inside of their grouped up team. Fnatic just rush onto him where he is the main damage dealer and clean up most of GX, helping them get the Baron and also making sure that they're ready to push forward and close the game. This is exactly what Fnatic will do, as they do a very cheeky dive into the second tier top turret and close the game from there. 28-minute game, super fast, really clean from Fnatic. GG's. For me, this was the most impressive game so far from Fnatic. They've definitely showcased some of the improvement from last week and also from yesterday. Razork, once he gets a big CC champion, he's ready to make those aggressive early plays. Good follow-ups from Ampiros and great plays from the rest of the team, but also Lospa, who's been exceptional in that game, showing great engage, great target selection, but also amazing survivability to not get caught into those early skirmishes. Final game of the week, and it was time to face Vitality and an old friend, Humanoid, who joined them for the 2026 season. So let's see how the boy faced their former mid laner. This time, Lospa is finally relieved from his Alistar duties when he gets his hand on Nautilus. A bit more of a team fighting composition with some scaling options here and there, and a frontline option with Empiros getting his hands on Cassante. Contrary to the previous games, this time it's a much more passive game from Fnatic, where Vitality not only get the first blood, but they get most of the early objectives with 2 Drakes and the Void Grubs. Fnatic will actually start to get active on the map after the first half of the game. First, with a good catch onto Linces in his own jungle, Lospa does a crazy flash grab onto him, followed up by Upset to get him on the board. The second phase will also be conducted by Lospa, who manages to bait most of Vitality's team on Fnatic's top side. A little bit of good movement and collapse from the boys will actually hand them free kills and get a bit more advantage into the rest of the game. Lospa continues to be the centerpiece of Fnatic's success in this game, just catching out Linces and preventing him from doing the flag and drag combo, putting him just short from his flag every time and getting kills and objectives across the game. With their gold advantage, Fnatic feel very comfortable to just catch Vitality every time they see him on the map. They secure the Baron and they very easily close the game. Another great performance by Fnatic, who's showcasing again some of their improvement that they've worked on between week 1 and week 2. I really want to put forward Lospa and his improvement on the second week. He's been incredible on most of the games and just done exceptionally well in his engages, but also being able to create winning situations for his team. When Grab said there's a bit of Hylissang within this player, I really do see it, especially on that moment where he re-engages into Vitality with less than a fourth of his HP and being even able to survive that aggression. I think it's fair to say that the team is slowly scaling and showcasing the improvement that they are working on progressively. There are still obviously a few issues here and there. Also, Empiros being the victim again of solo kills, but his impact in the mid to late game, especially during the team fight, is very noticeable, and he is one of the highest DPMs while having the least resources of the team. So really good addition, good impact. As we look into the next week's games, we'll have double bill of KC, the main team and the academy team, and we'll have shifters. A lot of French-speaking opponents, but definitely doable. Probably 2-1, even maybe a 3-0. Out of the 3, KC is the obvious strongest one. Having lost only 1 game so far, they are looking to show that they're the team to beat. Kana is always playing very strong, and Kalist is trying to show that he's the best ADC in the region. I'm really excited to see how the team has progressed from week 2 to week 3. Are we going to see the same level of improvement? Have they hit their first hurdles? Or are we going to see even better drafts and even more proactivity in the early game? Anyways, let me know what you thought of week 2. What was your favorite moment by leaving a comment below. Make sure to like and subscribe to be notified of my next video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Always Fnatic. Bye bye.